here we go. What's up, everybody, and welcome to my first episode of the Words of War. This is going to be a semi-weekly show that I'm starting. It's pretty much ad-lib and goes off the cusp. I'm going to be doing live games, replay assessment, and a lot of other stuff where I can try and push out the information to the masses in the best way I know how. A little bit of background, if nobody knows. My name is Worrdragon. I'm coaching about 200 people right now, which seems like a ridiculous number, but unfortunately that is the case. I'm looking at a lot of people right now. I put time and effort into trying to do as much as I can with people on an individual basis, but the number's gotten so overwhelming that I just don't have time for everybody anymore. So now I'm trying to figure out a way to push out the information to more people at once. So this is what I thought would be the best idea, a little bit of history on my gaming. I played Dota for a long time. I was pretty popular on there. I went by the name of Dr. Jihad. A lot of people knew me. I played one of the meanest Listraks in the game. I played with Sun Tzu and Yoda and all those guys you remember as being the best. After Dota, I played Han for a while, and then I came to League of Legends, and I sucked. When I first started playing League of Legends, I absolutely sucked. I could not figure it out. It was different than the other MOBAs. It moved at a different pace, and you paid a lot more heavily for mistakes. But over time, I developed a strategy and a system of figuring out what I was doing wrong and how to learn from it. I asked better players to teach me and show me the things that they were doing that was working for them. I made sure to read builds and guides, general guides, generics, and over time I got better. And last season I finally made gold, and this season, well, now I'm platinum, and I'm hoping to make diamond by the end of the season. So we'll see if I can do it. But tonight's episode, we're going to go over quite a few things. I'm going to start by reviewing a replay sent to me by my friend, and we're going to go over their invade that happens in the beginning of the game and touch on what went right, what went wrong, and where the major mistakes lie. Hopefully that's going to help some people understand what to think about and where to position when it comes to early replays. After that, I'm going to play a live game with a few people, and in that game I'm going to go over specific stuff. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to go over a jungle invade, a reverse late invade, and I'm going to do this in a live game. So I'm calling that I'm going to do this before I do it, and I'm going to show you and put into practice how this works. This is a trick that's very, very useful to have, especially for the low elos, because it works a lot. I get this to work for me about 85 to 90% of the time, and generally when it fails, it's usually due to my own team not willing to back me up or doing something I asked them not to do purposely. And let's face it, it happens, right? We've all seen it. We see this stuff on a daily basis where we come into players who just have no longingness to play with us, to show us that they care at all about our team. And that's the problem. The game's coming in for you guys who ask, and I will be answering questions throughout the show. So if you have questions, shoot them through my stream and I'll be answering them. I'm loading the replay right now that we're going to go over, but before I get into that, I want to touch on three types of players really quick. There's three major types of players that we see on an average everyday basis that drive us crazy. One I'll title the troll. You know what it is. Everybody knows what the troll is. You don't have to worry. He's a troll to everybody, and it sucks to get him in your game. But it happens to all of us. I'm platinum, and I see them on a daily basis. So if you think they're going to go away, you're wrong. Deal with them. It sucks, I know, and I feel bad for every person that has to deal with a troll. I really do. But one of the things to remember when dealing with a troll is they'll go away eventually. And everybody else on your team probably hates them as much as you do. So try not to throw out the flame towards the other players on the team as well. The second one is the scrub. And this, in my opinion, is the worst player to run into. This is the player who's bad, but thinks he's amazing. You know them, you see them. They're out there. They're out there all the time. And these guys are the worst. Why? Because they want to tell you what to do. They want to tell everybody what to do. They want to blame every mistake on everybody else. They want to blame everything on anything there is, but they never want to take responsibility for the fact that they're there for a reason. You're in Bronze 4, bro. You shouldn't be telling a Platinum player how to play. You know why? Because you're in Bronze 4. I understand that you may think that you're better than you can, and sometimes you have advice that I missed. There's true times where I make mistakes. Let's face it, it happens. And if you're going to tell me, hey man, you did this, but you should have done that, and you're right, I'll admit it. I'll say, hey man, thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. But if you're going to spend the entire time telling me why you're right and I'm wrong, I'm going to have a big problem playing with you. And I know you guys see them on a daily basis and they drive you crazy. If you are one, stop being one. Stop. Because you can be the third type of player, and that's okay. And that's a bad player. You don't have to be the best player. There are bad players out there. But you know what? A bad player who listens to better players, who takes his time, really focuses on doing the best he can, even though he knows that he's not necessarily the best player, is the player that I want on my team. Because I can deal with a bad player. I can carry with a bad player. Bad players can help me out. But a scrub, that's a hard player to work with. So if you're a bad player now, and you think, man, maybe that's me, and that's why I'm in Bronze 4 or Bronze 5, hey, just work on it. You'll get better, I promise. Because when I started League of Legends, I was a bad player. And now I'm Platinum. So we're going to move on to the replay here, and we're going to see what we can... No, you shouldn't have taken that acid. Acid does not help you in League of Legends. It doesn't. It will not assist you in the game. Okay, nobody wants to see that, but it does make the map so vivid and colorful. Alright, let's get to this replay. So guys, here we have a replay, and I'd like to start out by showing something as they're loading up, because we're going to have a nice invade going on at blue. Look at the teams here. Oh, my bad. I kind of need to put on the game capture mode so you guys can see that, huh? That would help. Oh, look, there's a game going on. Alright. So I'd like to touch on this to start. Look at our team comps here. Okay? On the blue team, we have Draven, Yi, Garen, Thresh, and Nunu. Thresh is an extremely powerful invade character. Oh, unable to download spectator data game magic. That's awesome. I'm going to have to reload this. Please bear with me, guys. Derp is right. This is one of the problems with doing a show live, right? Things are gonna happen. But stick with me and we'll work through it. Touching on that though, Thresh is an extremely powerful invade character. You can generally expect that a Thresh is going to invade you. Generally just feel like, hey, there's a Thresh on that team. I may get invaded. That might happen. Same thing with the Blitzcrank, right? Hey, there's a Blitzcrank on that team. Exactly. We're doing it live. Yes, at least my audio does work. Thank you for pointing that out, asshole. So, okay. Moving on to the game here. The other team, however, in this situation, has an Ahri, a Taric, a Jace, a Nasus, and a Caitlyn. There's something very interesting that's going to happen in this game. But looking at these two teams, the team with the Thresh is not the stronger invade team, folks. It's not. Yes, you have a Thresh hook, but Ahri has a possible charm. Taric has a single target stun. Jace has some really strong level 1 abilities. Nasus deals a lot of damage at level 1 or has the ability to have Wither, which can really put a damper on a Draven. And Caitlyn, if she knows what she's talking about, is going to put up a trap in right spots. And traps by Caitlyn at level 1 can really, really ruin your day. They can really ruin your day. And take that from somebody who knows the jungle. It can really ruin your day. So we're looking at these two teams, and the invade is going to happen. Blue is going to invade purple at their blue, and we're going to watch and see what happens as it goes on. One of the interesting things that does happen in this, though, that I'd like to really touch on, I want you guys to pay attention to, is some bad timing. One of the characters here does something that's really poorly timed, and I want you guys to see if you can spot it. Pay attention because it happens really quick. But it's something that could have made the difference in a kill and cost somebody without sacrificing a summoner spell. It does happen though, and we'll touch on it. So we have the start happening. We can see that Draven and Thresh are already moving. I'll get rid of this. Let's just watch for now.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Actually, we're probably going to want that up because I want you guys to pay attention to what's going on. So I'm going to leave up the borders and leave up all that stuff. It is a trap. It's always a trap. It's a trap! So you can see that they call this. Blue is pinging. Notice the pings happening down in the minimap. There's some pinging going on. Gonna have to move my portrait over probably a little bit. It's blocking, but we'll get to that later. So the pings happen. Purple sees him. Purple sees Nunu.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
That's a telegraph. Do they know that the whole team is coming? No, they don't. And that's one of the big deals here. Caitlyn has not put down any traps, and nobody saw everybody else. Ahri may have seen a few more people, but to the basic knowledge, all we saw was Nunu. The game volume is really loud. Oh god. Okay, well if the game volume is really loud, let's go ahead and touch on that. Is it really? Alright. I believe that should be better. How are we working now? Is that better? Let's jump back 15 seconds here. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit better. Notice the whole team we have here, and we can pay attention to a very big problem. Everybody should notice a big problem happening for purple. It's a 5-on-4. Jace isn't there. Not looking good right off that. And that's what's going to happen generally, which is why the aggressive team, the team that invades, generally has the advantage. Even if Jace wasn't at the fountain, most likely he'd be at top. So here it goes, and we can see the engage. Caitlyn starts Piltover and completely misses it. Thresh hooks Nasus and he goes down. Watch this. Did anybody see what just happened there? It happened very quick. I'll back it up in a second, but I want to point out something else here. Watch Ahri make possibly the dumbest decision in the history of all League of Legends. I'm just going to go say hey and see what's happening this way. Thresh lands a perfect hook, and she dies. Don't go back, folks. You know they're there. You know they're there. They pushed you out. It's a free blue buff. They're not going to leave. Don't go back. That mistake costs you heavily, over and over again. I'd like to touch on another mistake made right here. This Nunu has Consume. He has Consume. It's a skill he has. We saw him use it. He wastes his smite, though, instead of saving it to allow him to have a quicker clear as he leaves blue. He's got people with him. He shouldn't have to worry about somebody stealing because he's holding on to the smite. You can see that Caitlyn puts the Piltover in, and Nunu stays to clear. I guess Nunu wants to play an extremely aggressive counter jungle, but he should not have stayed to clear that. He should have let the blue wait. Why? Somebody would have had to clear that blue, costing them time in lane, or costing Nasus time, he's farming more important stuff, and also costing them time until the next blue comes up. Nunu's very fast and good at counter jungling. He could have come back and checked it out. I'm going to back up here. We're going to go back, not quite that far. Okay, watch the Draven. I want everybody to watch the Draven and pay attention to what happens here. It's coming up. Let's see if I can slow this down just a little bit. Watch what happens right here. He's going to slap that Tark for a ton of damage. Watch the flash. Did we see that? Did everybody see that? Let's back this up one more time. He misses his axe catch by flashing early. It's a huge source of damage. By mistiming his flash by less than half a second, he costs himself about 75 damage on Taric. Okay, that's a lot of damage here. Let's check out Tarik's life. It may not have got him the kill, but it's very possible. See that nice chunk? Here he flashes, misses the catch, and hits him. It leaves him with about 77 damage. As I said, that Q would have given him about 70 damage. It would have been really close. We also have a bunch of people with their Ignite still up. Garen has his Ignite up. Yi has his Ignite up. Had either one of them ignited Tark on top of that, we would have had a kill. So multiple mistakes there cost a kill from Draven. He also burnt his flash. It was a flash for a flash on Tark. Is it a good idea? Probably, because he's going to have the lead in lane. So why keep your summoners when you have a lead in lane? Because it's going to be a save for him. So by getting rid of Tarek's summoner with the lead in lane and the massive damage that Draven brings to a lane, he's probably going to have an advantage there, especially with a Thresh with a hook. So we're looking good there. So that's the first invade I wanted to go over, and that's the replay there. You can see that playing advantage pays off. Playing aggressive has the advantage and pays off. Despite being the team with the weaker level 1 and the weaker start, being aggressive and invading pays off. My whole theory on jungling is play aggressive. If you play aggressive in the jungle, you'll have a lot more payoff from it. Don't take those high risk jungle moves though. Sometimes it's just stupid. Don't make yourself stupid. But sometimes it's a good idea to roll with it. So that's what I wanted to touch on. That's the invade. Remember that Nunu clears this. He didn't need to. He wastes his smite. There's a few touches there. Jace is in the fountain, remember. We missed some stuff there. But taking advantage of an aggressive play with their Thresh, blue pays off.